started watching it. Okay, it's going live now. Can you ready to watch these? It's not on.
After this class in ring 2, we'll be showing for Junior Do Champion and Reserve Champion Myotonic.
This is my class of myotonic does, 9 to 12 months of age. One is placing over 2. She has greater depth in the area of the barrel, also has greater spring of rib, giving her greater overall body capacity at this time. 2 is placing over 3. She's more heavily muscled across that top line. 3 is placing over 4. This doe standing a more correct set to those rear legs. And 4 over 5 for having greater spring of rib, which gives her greater overall body capacity. Thank you.
So now we'll be showing in ring 2 for the champion myotonic junior doe. Need to be bringing class 152 and 153 and 154 to ringside, please. All your myotonic unfreshened and your 12 to 18 month freshened doe.
You pulled my, I saw I pulled your video.
I was like,
YouTube is. Totally. Oh my God. Public education. Money well spent.
There's nothing in the ring.
All these radio waves on these stereo.
This is my class of myotonic does, 12 to 18 months of age. There's some trade-offs between these two does, but I'm placing one over two today. She's got greater muscling across that top line. I would like to grant to my second place animal having greater muscling in the area of the brisket. Thank you.
Ring 2 should be entering class 152, junior unfreshened, 12 to 18 months. The Kiko showmen should be getting ready. Kiko showmanship classes should be at ringside. We're going to start. We do not have any rookies, so we will be starting with the junior class. Junior showmen for Kiko, as well as intermediate showmen for Kiko, need to be at ringside. And your seniors need to start making your way this way.
This is my class of unfreshened yearling mytonics. I'm placing them as they stand from my right to my left. One is placing over 2, and the rest of the class, this doe has the greatest amount of body capacity. She's got the depth of body, she's got the spring of rib, she's the widest in the front end. A very beautiful doe. I'm placing 2 over 3. She's slightly more level in the area of the chine, also showing greater muscling in the neck into the shoulders. I'm placing 3 over 4. She's got greater body capacity with greater spring of rib, also showing greater muscling throughout. Thank you.
Next, in ring 2, we should be having the champion yearling and reserve champion yearling doe for your myotonic. Champion and reserve. So there's only 2 classes that we need to get first and second place for. Your 12 to 18 month and your 18 to 24 month.
They don't put limits on them. You can bring as many as you want. Yeah.
That, have you seen the version that's been showing? They show like 20.
It's crazy. Oh, I'd be out there.
One almost got out there.
One did.
Almost. The third one, and then to the left, that goat right there. The pin wasn't all the way closed, and it like almost got out.
Yeah.
There's no like 20 classes of progress.
Alright, we have a single entry in our rookie showman here. This young lady is handling this doe really well. She's not quite wanting to cooperate today, but she's keeping her cool and she's doing a really good job with this doe. And again, I talked to her about some body parts, but she knew most of them. So just keep practicing those body parts and keep gaining that knowledge for next year.
Yeah, so now I can't sell it.
Not big enough. 220. He's a lot.
Next, in ring 1, we have intermediate showman.
If it was ready to gain, it would definitely lose the most. For what we fed it. Full feed the
We
whole
need our
time.
senior showman for Kiko at
run
ringside.
this today?
Senior showman for Kiko at ringside.
I'm good. I'll pass. Goats for days.
They went to Target to go buy some. And then I think they're going to your house for them to take a shower. Hopefully they can shower.
He's gonna show Jackie.
I know. If that's not his name,
It actually has a name. He just decided to call it Jackie.
it's something with an M.
How big?
I wanted them to put the baby here. No, they said that. Then he said that they didn't.
No, it's like a, yeah. It's like 10 days old.
I saw it. Your grandparents. It was cute. But they're taking the other one.
There's another little one in there. It's little.
It's not that cute. The other one's tiny. John, you said she just had puppies.
Little, like, they'll be mini Australian Shepherds. Well, have you seen the little ones they have? Like, that's the biggest you can get.
That's so
That's as big as you get. They have, like, they're called toys. You can get them sometimes. 7 to 10 pounds.
I picked it for a reason. What was the idea of it? Oh, I thought the lighting was really good. I think I actually did say the lighting was good.
Hey, Mom. They moved the chip on machines back now.
How long will they live? Well, I mean, have years. Yeah, my grandpa now one time I made 23.
Alright, we have our junior showmen in here. Really, these two showmen here have done an excellent job. I'm going to start off the headline with this young lady. She knows her body parts, she knows her knowledge, and I had them switch goats, and they both can be kind of contrary. And this young showman did an excellent job with both of the animals. She was able to control both of them. She has just a little bit more confidence in handling a doe that's just not quite wanting to walk just right. And then we have our young showman here in second. She moved up from our rookie showman, and again, she's done an excellent job. You just have a little bit more to learn for next year, but again, both these showmen are going to do excellent as they age.
You said you were
We're now ready for senior Kiko Showman. Senior Kiko Showman.
I just bought them. This is the first one I found.
Good place to wear them to, really.
She gave it 10 pretty quickly in the show.
This is for selection of my junior myotonic doe. Today I'm going with a doe that is strong on her feet and legs, very correct in her tracking. She's got great depth, great muscling throughout, great levelness in that top line, and it's going to be my 6 to 9 month old.
Again, we'd like to thank our sponsors for the goat barn this year. Those are all posted inside the barn, so please stop by and see who helped sponsor our show. Also, the goat barn PA system was donated in memory of Rick Sutherland, with special thanks to 12 Point Telecom and the many friends and generous donations and help. The Sutherland family really appreciates that.
is for selection of reserve junior myotonic dough. Today for my reserve junior myotonic dough, I'm picking a dough that has a lot of depth of body, good strong heavy bone, great muscling throughout, and I'm going to stick with that same class. This is for selection of champion yearling myotonic. Today for champion, I'm going with a dough that is very wide, very muscular, has a lot of body capacity with great spring of rib. It's going to be my oldest. This is for selection of reserve yearling myotonic dough. It gets a little closer with these two, but today I'm going to go with the dough that has the greatest overall muscling throughout and has the greatest amount of body capacity with greater spring of rib, and it's going to be this dough.
Okay, for our myotonics, we're ready to start the freshen classes. That should be class 154. Cameron, 154, class 154, is that what we're ready for? That's fresh and does 12 to 18 months. So class 155 and 156 should be at ringside. Those are freshen, freshen senior doe and freshen 12 to 18 months.
This is my class of freshened yearlings, 12 to 18 months of age. I'm placing them as they stand from my right to my left. One is placing over 2 today. She's got greater levelness in the area of the loin. She's also tracking more correctly on those front legs, especially about the pasterns. I would like to grant to my second place animal having greater depth in the area of the barrel.
Are you doing something?
Yeah, people talk to me.
Next class in ring 2 is 155. I need class 156, 157, and 158. All the freshened adult myotonic does to ringside.
Why are you doing this here?
Yeah, do it. I'll probably regret it if I don't. No, you should do it.
All right, we have a really nice class of senior showmen in here. I went through and asked them body parts and some more of the difficult body parts, and I also asked them where the Kikos originated from, because if you're breeding this breed, you want to know where they originated from, what they're bred for, what their best qualities are for, and that's what this young lady answered for me. She answered not only where they originated, but she also gave me a history of the breed and why she chose this breed. And so I really appreciate learning that knowledge and being able to show me that she knows why this breed is the way they are and why she breeds them, and that is very impressive for me, because most people, they don't know why they're in the breed they are. They don't know the qualities that they're looking for. They don't know why they're breeding, and so she's standing at the head of the line for that as well. 2 over 3 of this young showman here, again, a very knowledgeable showman. She has this animal set up to her best advantage at all times. Not quite as easy moving around with that animal, but again, another showman that has done an excellent job. Through over 4, again, this is a knowledge place, and this young showman knew a little more body parts than our 4th place showman here. And again, she has a great team with this little weather, and he's been working pretty well for 4 over 5. This young gentleman here has done an excellent job with this doe. She's been kind of contrary with him, but he's kept his cool, and he's been able to keep her handled and keep her under control. And we have our showman here at the end of the line who's done an excellent job. Just practice your body parts and your knowledge, but overall a really nice class of seniors.
We have a single entry in this monotonic doe class. Very nice doe, great development in the area of the brisket, and is very correct on those feet and legs.
Ring 2, we can come in with class 156, junior adult doe, 2 years. We need the 3-year-old and the 4-year-olds at ringside, please. We are ready to start the Kiko show. We're going with class 125, 3 months to under 6. 3 months to under 6.
You and your dad. I swear, you're raising a terrible child. Okay, you're right. This is so weird. Yeah. I've been up since 5.
But yeah.
Because we live in. Why aren't you taking a nap? I was going to, but I didn't think so. I'm not tired.
We have a nice class of kids here to start off our Kiko show. 1 over 2, I really like the style of the Stowe kid in first place. She's really strong in that front end assembly. We see that smoothness of blending from neck into that shoulder, the strength across that top line, and the strength in those feet and legs. I do want to grant their 2nd place though that depth of body. She's shown us a lot of depth in that heart girth and into the rear flank.
That was also for your full-blood Kiko Junior Doe. That was our only entry in that division. So our next class will be 128, 12 months under 16. We are doing full-blood Kiko classes first. 12 months to under 16 months. Class 129 needs to be at ringside.
This is my class of 2-year-old mytonic does. I'm placing them as they stand from my right to my left. 1 is standing over 2 today. She's got greater depth in that heart girth, increasing back towards that flank. Also has greater spring of rib, giving her greater overall body capacity. 2 is placing over 3 for being more smoothly blended throughout. She's also got greater depth overall. I would like to grant to my 3rd place animal. She has very correct feet and legs. Thank you.
Ring 2, we need to enter the 3-year-olds, which is class 157. The senior 4-year-olds need to be at ringside. The class in ring 1 will also be for your Kiko, champion and reserve champion. These are the only entries in the yearling division.
1/2, real stylish Kiko does. She showed us a lot of length, the smoothness of blending throughout, the length in that body, the length across that top line. I do want to commend my second place though for that depth of body and depth into that heart girth. She's just not quite showing us that length of body to move her ahead. And we have our third place though here, real stylish though. I do want to commend her for that depth of body, especially into that earth lane. She's just not quite showing us that length of body and levelness on that top line to move her ahead today.
Okay. Ring 1 leads class 133, 36 months and older for your full-blood Kikos. Class 133 should be entering ring 1.
This is my class of 3-year-old myotonic does. I'm placing them as they stand from my right to my left. 1 and 2 is a close placing, but I'm placing 1 over 2 for standing on stronger, more resilient pastures, and also for being slightly deeper in the area of the heart girth. 2 is placing over 3 for having greater levelness in the area of the chine, and also for having more correct slope to that rump. 3 is placing over 4. She's got greater depth in the area of the heart girth, increasing back towards the flank. Also has greater development in the area of the brisket.
Okay, ring 2 should be class 158, your 4-year-old does, followed by 159. 159 should be at ringside, your 5-year-old does and older. After that, we'll be starting with the myotonic group classes. So we will need some 4-H'ers over by ring 2 to help with those group classes, please.
She's long, she's powerful, she's deep-chested, she's standing with a lot of width between those front legs, and it follows all the way through into that hind leg. I love this doe's depth of body, especially into that rear flank, the levelness across that top line, the strength in those feet and legs. 2/3, another doe that's shown us a lot of depth of body, a lot of strength throughout. This doe just moves a little, or blends just a little bit more smoothly in that front end from that neck into that shoulder set than our 3rd place doe. 3/4, this doe, she's shown us a little more power and scale and size. She's stronger in those feet and legs. She's a little bit stronger across that top line. I do want to commend this 4th place doe for the levelness from hooks to pins in that rump area. 4/5, this doe, she's a little bit smaller. She doesn't quite have that size of scale than our 5th place doe, but she is a little powerhouse. She's shown us that width in that chest floor, that depth of body and that heart girth and into that rear flank. 5/6, this doe here, she's just more, she blends more smoothly into that front end assembly and it follows all the way through into that rear end. She's shown us just a little more depth into that rear flank and a little more strength in those feet and legs, especially those back pasterns. 6/7, this doe, she's just shown us a little more correctness in that front end assembly, correctness across that top line, a little more length in that rump than we see in our doe here standing at the end of the line. I don't want to take anything away from this doe and last. I do commend her for that depth of body. She's shown us a lot of depth of body and width in that body, just not quite showing us the correctness to move her ahead today. We have our lineup out here for our grand champion Kiko. And there's one doe in particular that is just showing us everything we want to see in these Kikos. She's showing us that depth of heart, that depth in that chest floor. She's showing us that length of body, that depth of body. And I'm going to come up here to the head of the line and use this doe here for my grand. We'll go ahead and pull her out and we'll take a look at the doe that stands behind her. And again, I'm looking for a doe that's shown us the most overall correctness in that front end assembly. We're seeing the strength across that top line, the width across that top line into that hind end. And I'm going to stay in that age group and use that older doe as my reserve.
This is my class of 4-year-old mytonic does. I'm placing them as they stand from my right to my left. The first two were close placing for me, but I'm placing one over two. She's got a lot of style, a lot of animation. She's also showing greater width in the area of the hips. I'm placing 2 over 3.
Ring one,
She's got greater muscling
we
across
are
the top.
ready to start our percentage dough class.
She's got greater muscling across the top. She's also
So we're starting with class 136, which is 6 to 9. I apologize.
She's also more level in the area of the chine. She's also standing on stronger, more resilient pasterns. I'm placing 3 over 4. She's more level in the area of the loin, also having a tighter shoulder attachment. I'm placing 4 over 5 for overall body capacity. She's got greater spring of rib, greater width in the area of the chest floor, and greater muscling over the breast. Thank you.
Sorry about that. So in ring one, we're starting the percentage Kiko show, class 136, 6 months old to under 9 months of age. This is also going to be the champion. Ring two should have your senior myotonic goats, class 159, 5 years and older.
I really like the size and scale of this dough kit. She's really correct on that front end assembly. As she walks around the ring and as she stands there, she's more correct across that top line, especially across the area of the rump. I do want to commend our second place dough for that depth of body. She's shown us a lot of depth in that heart girth and into that rear flank. Just like to lengthen her out a little bit more to move her ahead today.
Okay, class 139 should be in ring one, 16 to 20 months, 16 to 20 months percentage.
This is my class of 5 and older myotonic doughs. I'm placing them as they stand from my right to my left. One is placing over 2 today. She's standing on stronger, more resilient pasterns, also showing greater depth in the area of the heart girth, increasing back towards the blink.
This class in ring one will also be for the percentage yearling dough champion and reserve champion. Any 4-H'er that is available needs to come to the number 2 show ring to start helping with group classes. So if you're waiting for your class to show, you need to come and help. You'll go to ring 2. Two is getting ready for the mother-daughter. Ring 2, getting ready for mother-daughter.
One over 2, real stylish dough to lead off the head of the line here. She's showing us that smoothness of blending in that front end assembly, that width across that top line, and especially that body length and that depth of body, especially into that rear flank. 2 over 3, we're seeing the longer body doe. I do commend our third place doe for the strength in that chine in the area of the top line. But 2 over 3, she's just standing on stronger feet and legs. She's showing us a little more width, especially into the area of the rump. Then we have our third place doe. Again, she's shown us just a little bit stronger of that top line than our second place doe. But she's just not quite showing us that length of body and the width in the rump. Single entry in this class. This doe's shown us a lot of depth of body, especially into that rear flank. I do want to commend her for that width across that loin and into that rump. Another single entry doe here. I really admire this doe's overall width. She's shown us a lot of width in that shoulder set, and it comes on and through and across that loin and into that rear end.
Next in ring 1 should be our class 143. Ring 2 after this champion class will be showing for grand champion myotonic doe. This one is the champion senior doe class showing in room. Ring 2 right now is the champion senior doe myotonic.
For my selection of senior champion myotonic doe, I'm going with a doe that is very correct on her feet and legs. She's showing great muscling throughout, and that's going to be this black doe right here. For my reserve champion, senior myotonic doe, I'm going with a doe that is showing a lot of body capacity. She's got great depth of body. She's got a very level top line, and that's going to be my 4-year-old.
So in ring 1, we need our junior champion and reserve, our yearling champion and reserve, and our senior champion and reserve for overall grand champion myotonic doe. In ring 2, after the grand champion class, we will move on to mother-daughter.
Too. I really like the style of this first place though. She's shown us a lot of that body capacity. She's shown us that depth and that heart work that follows all the way through into that rear flank. And when you get your hands on her, overall she's shown us a lot of width across that top line and into that area of rump. 2/3, another really long body doe. She's shown us the correctness in that front end assembly, the correctness on feet and legs, and the levelness and strength across that top line. 3/4, this doe here, she's a little bit smaller, but overall she's shown us the most correctness in those feet and legs. She's shown us the width into that chest more than we see in this 4th place doe. 4/5, this is more of a general appearance placing here. We're seeing a longer body doe. She's stronger across that top line, especially in the area of the chine and the area of the rump. We're just seeing a little more width and length into that rump than we see in our 5th place doe. I do recommend this 5th place doe for her depth of body. She showed us a lot of depth, not only in that heart girth, but into that barrel and into that rear flank. I just like to lengthen her out a little bit more and make her a little bit stronger on that top line to move her any higher today.
In ring 1, we're going to start showing for the champion and reserve champion percentage Kiko doe. After the champion and reserve are chosen, we'll then go to the grand champion Kiko doe. And it looks like both rings are going to be on group classes at about the same time. So we are really going to need help from extra 4-Hers around.
Our lineup out here for champion Kiko doe. There's one doe in particular. She's just showing us that size and scale. She's showing us that depth of body, that length of body, that width across that top line into that area of the rump. But I'm going to go up and I'm going to use my older doe as my grand. And we're going to pull her out. We're going to bring the doe that stood behind her up. And again, I'm going to go with the doe that's showing us the most overall correctness. She's showing us that length of body, the depth of body from that heart girth into that rear flank, the width, especially into that area of the rump. And I'm going to stay in that class for my reserve.
This is for my selection of overall Grand Champion Myotonic Doe. All three of these are very nice does. I could pick any one of them, but today there's one that really stands out to me. She's very elegant. She's got increasing depth from that heart girth back into the flank. She's tracking very correct on those feet and legs, and that's going to be my oldest sample. This is for my selection of overall reserve Grand Myotonic Doe. Again, all three of these are very nice does. They could go anyway, but today, for me, I'm going to pick the doe that has the most correct feet and legs, is very elegant, and that's going to be my youngest.
Alright, we have our lineup out here for overall Grand and Reserve percentage Kikos. I'm going to go with the doe that she's just showed us the most correctness. She's shown us the most body capacity, the length of body, the strength in those feet and legs, strength in that top line, width across that top line. I'm going to stick with my senior as my overall Grand. As we pull her out, we're going to look at the doe that stood reserved to her. And again, it comes down to doe that's showing you the most correctness overall, the correctness in the front end assembly, the depth in that front end, and that chest floor, the depth of the body, the strength across that top line, especially in the area, the rump, the strength in the feet and legs, the length of body. And I'm actually going to come down here. I'm going to use my youngest kid here as my reserve.
Okay, in ring 2, we have started our mother-daughter myotonic class. Again, any 4-H'er that is available, please come over and help. Next in ring 2 will be our myotonic producer dam. Right now we're getting for ring 1 our mother-daughter Kiko.
This is my mother-daughter myotonic class. I'm placing them at the stand from my right to my left. One is placing over 2 today. I'm seeing more consistency and the good traits from the mother. I'm also seeing a little bit more improvement over the mother. 2 over 3. These 2 are really close for me, but I'm seeing more desirable traits in the daughter of the second place animal. But I would like to commend my third place. There are good traits that were passed down from the mom.
Next in ring 2 will be Breeders' Trio. If you have any myotonic wethers, you need to bring them to ringside. Myotonic wethers, you need to start bringing them to ringside.
Alright, we have our mother-daughter groups in here, and again with mother-daughter, I want to see the consistency that the dam is throwing into that daughter, but I also want to see improvements as well, and that's what we see in this first place group. We're seeing a lot of consistency coming from the mom. We're seeing the length of body, the levelness in that top line, the strength in the feet and legs. But then we're also seeing improvements like the smoothness of blending in that front end assembly and the width in the area of the rump. 2 over 3, this group here, we're seeing some consistency, but we're also seeing a lot of improvements coming from the dam to the daughter. We're seeing the levelness in that top line, especially the area of the chine. We're seeing the consistency of the depth of body, especially into that rear flank, but we're also seeing more length of body into this daughter. 3 over 4, this group, we're seeing a lot more consistency. Not quite seeing the improvements coming from dam to daughter. I'd like to see a little more length in this daughter for them to move any higher today. And then we have our group here at the end of the line. Again, a really consistent group. We are seeing improvements, but we're just not quite seeing the correctness in this pair to move them any higher today.
Next in ring 1 will be Kiko Produce of Dan. Any available 4-H'er in the barn? We need help over here with the Breeders' Trio. Please come to ring 1. Any available 4-H'er who can help show? We need you in ring 1.
Single entry in the Breeders' Trio for the myotonic does. All 3 of these are showing good consistency. They have level top lines, great depth of body, great muscling throughout. Nice dose.
So in ring two, we're ready to start with our class 160. There are a few classes of this. So your weathers 0 to 6 months. Myotonic weathers 0 to 6 months. Get them to ring two, please.
All right, we have our lineup out here for our produce to dam. And again, with produce to dam, we're wanting to see the consistency between the sisters, whether or not they have the same sire or different sires. We're wanting to see that consistency, and that's what we see in this first place group. Both these does are showing us the correctness in that front end assembly, the length of body, the depth of body, the correctness of those feet and legs, and that top line. 2/3. These twins here, again, we're seeing a lot of similarities between them. We're seeing a lot of consistency between these two, the correctness of that front end assembly, the strength in those feet and legs. I'd like to make them a little bit longer for them to move ahead today, but I do really admire their depth of body even at their age. And then we have our third place group here. We do see some consistencies, and then we do see some faults in these does. I'd like to make this doe closer to me a little bit longer to match her sister, but I do admire these does' depth of body and strength in that front end.
Okay, we're ready for Breeders' Trio in ring one for our Kikos. Breeders' Trio.
This is my class of weathers under 6 months. I'm placing them as they stand from my right to my left. One is placing over 2. He's got greater spring of rib, giving him greater overall body capacity.
Ready for ring two will be class 2 of the myotonic weathers. Class 2 of the myotonic weathers should be in the ring, in ring 2. We need class 1 of the 6 to 12-month-old weathers and class 2 of the 6 to 12-month-old myotonic weathers at ringside.
we have our lineup out here for our best 3 females. I only placed my top 3 because I'm not having a whole lot of space in the ring with these bigger does. But 1 over 2, this group is a really impressive group. They're showing us a lot of depth of body in that chest, the chest forward, and it follows in through the barrel and into that rear flank. They're showing us the strength of those feet and legs, the strength across that top line, and the width in the area of the rump. 2 over 3, this group here is showing us a little more consistency between the 3. They're showing us more strengths in our 3rd place group. They're showing us that depth of body, the strength across that top line, and the length of body overall. Then we have our 3rd group here. They're showing us consistencies, but not quite as much as the 2 groups ahead of them. But they're showing us that depth of body, the levelness across that top line. I would like to change this doe here, make her a little bit more level in the area of the chine to move this group any higher today. And then we have our 2 groups on the outside of the ring. Both these groups, they have a lot of consistency, they just don't have quite the correctness to move them any higher today.
This is my 2nd class of myotonic weathers, 0 to 6 months of age. I'm placing them as they stand from my right to my left. 1 is placing over 2 today. He's got greater muscling over the top line. He's also wider in the area of the shoulders. 2 is placing over number 3. He's got greater depth in that heart girth, increasing back towards the flank. Also has greater spring of rib, giving him greater overall body capacity.
Ring 2 is ready for class 161. 161. Myotonic weather, 6 to 12 months. You need your 2nd class of class 161 at ringside. Also class 162. If you have a Kiko weather, all Kiko weathers need to be at ringside. All Kiko weathers need to be at ringside. Class 144, Kiko Weathers, you can enter the ring if you're available, if you're here.
Alright, we have our first class of weathers out here. 1 over 2, this weather, he's just showed us a little more muscle mass on that front end. He's a little bit thicker from that chest forward and across that top line into that hind leg. He's showing us a little bit more that muscle mass and length in that loin. Then we have our 2nd place weather here. I do commend him for that depth of body. I would just like to make him a little bit wider in that chest forward to move him ahead today.
This is my class of monotonic weathers, 6 to 12 months of age. I'm placing them as they stand from my right to my left. One is standing over 2 today. He's got greater width in the area of the chest floor. 2 is placing over 3. He's standing on stronger, heavier bone, also more level in the area of the chine. And 3 is placing over 4 for having greater muscling across the top line.
Alright, we have a single entry in this weather class. I really like the muscle tone on this weather. He's showing us a lot of width in that front end, and it follows through across that loin. He's showing us a lot of length across that top line. I do want to commend him for that muscling in that hind leg. He is showing us quite a bit today.
Ring 2 should have class 161, class 2 of 161. You have your myotonic weathers 6 to 12 months. You need to have all your myotonic weathers at ringside, please. All your myotonic weathers at ringside.
Alright, we have our lineup out here for our Pico weathers. I'm going to go with the weather that overall today he's shown us the most width in that front end, width and length across that line, the most muscling into that hind quarters. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to use my heavier weather as my gradient. And he was our single entry, so I'm going to come down here and use our lightweight weather for our reserve. Again, he's another weather that's showing us quite a bit of muscling on that front end, and it continues on back into that hind leg.
For everyone's information, as soon as the ring 2 is completed their myotonic show, which just have a few more classes, we will take a break. We'll be taking a 15-minute break when the myotonics are done, and then we will start with dairy classes.
This is my second class of myotonic weathers, 6 to 12 months of age. I'm placing them as they stand from my right to my left. One is placing over 2. He's got great width in the chest floor. He's also got a greater string of rib, giving him greater overall body capacity. 2 is placing over 3. He's more level at the top line in both the chine and the loin. He's also got more muscling over the top. I'm placing 3 over 4. He's tracking more correctly on those rear legs. Also has greater muscling in the top line.
Next, we have the weather class 1 to 2 years. That's class 162. There are actually 3 of these classes in the same age group. This is class 1 of the 1 to 2 year old myotonic weathers. Class 1, class 2 and 3 should be at ringside.
is my class of mytonic weathers, 1 to 2 years of age. I'm placing them as I stand from my right to my left. 1 is placing over 2 today. He's wider across the top. He's also got greater depth in the area of the heart girth, increasing back towards that flank. Placing 2 over 3, she's got greater muscling in the brisket and across that top line.
So this is the second class of the 1 to 2-year-old.
This is my second class of mytonic weathers, 1 to 2 years of age. I'm placing them as they stand from my right to my left. 1 is placing over 2 in the rest of the class. He's standing on the strongest, heaviest bone. He's also tracking more correctly on those feet and legs. 2 is placing over 3. He's wider in the shoulders. He's also got greater muscling in the area of the thigh. And he's got greater depth in the area of that heart girth.
Next is the third class of these 1 to 2-year-old weathers.
This is my class of 2-year-old mytonic weathers. I'm placing them as they stand from my right to my left. One is placing over 2 today. He's standing on stronger, heavier bone, also has greater depth in that heart girth, increasing back towards the flank. 2 is placing over 3. He's wider in the area of the shoulders. He's got greater smoothness of blending from the neck into the shoulders, and he's got greater spring of rib, giving him greater overall body capacity.
Okay, our next class is 163, weathers 2 years and older in the myotonic. After this class, we will show for champion myotonic weather. So we'll have to have the first and second place from all the different classes out there to show for champion.
class of myotonic leathers, 2 years of age and older. I'm placing them as they stand from my right to my left. One is placing over 2 today. He's standing on stronger, heavier bone, also has greater depth in the area of the barrel. I would like to grant to my second place animal greater levelness in the top line, especially in the area of the loin. And for that levelness, he is placing over my third place animal. My third place animal today is kind of hunching himself up and isn't showing himself off today.
No, you can leave it there. No, you can leave it there. I was just trying to make sure.
And Bella went to something with her friends, so she won't be back. I felt kind of bad. I mean, that's been
Dr. Hutchinson said, what you see. Yeah, what do they use? Pages. What do they call them? Pages. Huh? Hot shots.
This is for selection of overall grand myotonic weather. Today I'm going with a weather that has tremendous body capacity, stands on good feet and legs, and today it's going to be this weather right here. Today for the overall reserve grand myotonic weather, I'm going with a weather that shows a lot of width in the chest floor, has great depth of body, increasing from the heart girth back into the flank, and it's going to be this cream color.